Oh, hello, hello. This is the first of my Bionic Book Subscription. I am very happy to have finished it because now I might get some sleep, and I'm very happy to have finished it because it's a really, really good book. I've got copious notes, which if I show you my thing, you might not actually be able to read that, but you know, that's more notes than I've written for the past 3 books I've read, but I'm going to ignore them for the moment and see how we go. So I love this book. The first thing I loved about this book, and I will read it out to you, is the first paragraph. Yes, the first paragraph. So the setting is we're by the river Tigris. I think it's Tigris. In olden times. Later, when the storm has passed, everyone will talk about the destruction left behind, though no one, not even the king himself, will remember that it all began with a single raindrop. I love that. This is the first time that I have taken a book and I have said that is one of my favourite openings of all times, because there's so many connotations there. It can be I mean, it is about a storm that floods Nineveh on the river Tigris, in, I think, when the year 630, sometime in the 640s BCE. It's only the first chapter is about the 640s BCE. The rest of the book refers back to it. But the theme of the book, I thought it was the theme of the book, but it's not really. It's more that the water runs through it, bringing us back all together into, so we've got the River Thames, we've got the River Tigris, and they're all linked in together. And I'm going to mention a book which I don't even remember the name of, but the book I read previous to this, which was so confusing because there were 3 or 4 different timelines in it, and 2 of them barely made any sense with the rest. But this book, everything falls together beautifully. There are references in the 1840s to 1830s back to the River Tigris. There are references in 2014 and 2018 back to the River Tigris, back to the 1860s, 60s, 70s, back to the 1840s. It's so beautifully done. The prose is lovely. How she winds together all these different people and brings them back to one another. So I do not know why this has not won any prizes. Not that I noticed the prizes, because often the prize-winning books are not very good. Yes, I think I said that out loud. This one, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not really certain how to say her name, so I am sorry if I get your name wrong, but I'm going to say Elif Shafak. And I looked her up, and she is Turkish and British. So she has some understanding of what it's like to live in, say, London in 2018. Or in the 1840s to 1870s. She's, because it's Turkey, or sorry, I should be saying Turkey, because that's where she comes from, she's got some idea of what it must be like to be there, next to the River Tigris, which I must admit I'm totally jealous of. I felt like I was back in Nineveh. In the first chapter, I felt like I was back next to the River Tigris later on in the 1840s to 70s, and then again in 2014. I felt the distress in 2014, and I'm going to do a spoiler here, because 2014, and in fact before that in the 1840s to 1870s, we're looking at a group called the Yazidis, which are apparently a group that everyone just wants to wipe out. And, you know, I can relate to that. A most hated culture in the world, and what she does is she makes us love them. And in 2014, Islamic State actually went and tried to wipe them out, which is just absolutely wrong. And the person we see, just trying to think, how much more should I say about this? How many more details shall I say? I think I won't give any more details, because that would be spoilers, and you really need to read this book. I am about to lend it to my mother, and I'm going to let her lend it to a friend of hers. I'd better put my name in the front to make certain that Mum knows who lent it. So I'm really, really grateful, and I'm going to go back a few years now in my personal timeline, because in 2020, Bionic Book Subscription approached me and said, we would like to give you a 3-book subscription, which is 3 months, or 1 book every 2 months. And I was blown away with how they chose their books. So when I had the time and the money, well, I don't have the time, but I have the money, and so last year I sent myself a gift subscription. Sent myself, that sounds a bit arrogant, but there was, excuse me, there was a reason behind it, because I wanted to actually get a video of their, of the flow chart of how you choose, the flow chart. I can do words, really I can. I wanted to get a video of the flow chart that I went through with my selection of books, so that I would be able to talk about it knowledgeably, instead of just saying, oh, they did this flow chart and they answered questions. And no, I'm not going to talk about that now, but the reason I've got this now, the reason I have a subscription with them, is because in 2020, when they gave me that gift subscription, those 3 books, because it was 3 books, those 3 books were wonderful books. I mean, seriously wonderful books. And this one, the first in, I have got my microphone on, haven't I? Yes, I have. I don't know why I thought of that now after 8 minutes. And this, actually, in terms of the writing, I think this is actually better than all 3 of those books. So if they've really learned how to choose books for me, then I look forward to the next 2, and I will be extending the subscription after it runs out it'll be 6 months, because I chose a book every 2 months. I thought, I'm not going to overburden myself. I'm so glad I got this book. It really is good. The prose is lovely. The way she puts all the threads together so that they actually make sense, and having recently read a book that didn't make sense, it's so nice to read a book. It's not just that it makes sense, but it's beautifully written. And I love the rain and how she brings the drops back into one another. And the poem, there's also a poem that winds through the whole thing, and that's Gilgamesh. Because back in Nineveh in about the 1640s BCE, just before there was a flood, the ruler of Nineveh, whose name I cannot say, but I will give it a go. Oh, here we go. Nineveh is a place like no other, the world's largest and wealthiest city. So back in 640 BCE, so a long, long time ago. And they've got all these fabulous things. And the ruler, got his name here. The king's name is Ashurbanipal. Oh, Ashurbanipal. I don't know. Too many syllables for me. But we get this beautiful, beautiful description of him, including the rounded, arched eyes lined with black coal, and the headdress, and I'm just going to read you this little bit. He reigns over an empire so immense that they hail him as the emperor of the four quarters of the world. Someday he will also be remembered and renowned as the librarian king, the educated monarch, the erudite ruler. I can do words. The erudite ruler of Mesopotamia. Titles that will make people forget that whilst he may have been highly learned and cultured, he was no less cruel than his predecessors. So, but Nineveh was destroyed in about somewhere in the 640s BCE, and we don't actually see it destroyed here. What we see is a lovely description of it, when we see a lovely description of some of the books in the not books. Well, I suppose they're books. The tablets, the one that's really special, it's made of lapis lazuli, and absolutely beautiful. And we see that popping up throughout the book. It's not just in Nineveh; it's found elsewhere. And there are things which are alluded to and not actually stated. And it's really, really nice to see that, because the art of good writing is sometimes pointing the reader to the direction of where you want them to go without actually telling them. So show, don't tell. And she's a master at that. Absolute master. So, yes, there are some challenging things in it. I did say that Islamic State tries to wipe out the Yazidis, and it happened in real life. There is no getting around it that that's what they tried to do, and I think there are some people they haven't managed it, and I'm so pleased. Anyway, enough. Good book. Really good book. Thank you, Bionic, for choosing this book for me. Taking your selection process and making it work beautifully. And that's enough for today. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.